Okay, let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we're unpacking a truly fascinating chapter: how the land becomes sacred. Now, usually when we think about geography, our minds jump straight to borders, elevations, climates, physical maps. We tend to think of land as just dirt and rock. But today, we're going to look at the land through a completely different lens. We're exploring how human belief, culture, and deep reverence can actually transform a physical location into something divine. Get ready, because by the time we finish this explainer, you might just look at your own neighborhood completely differently. To really set the stage for this, I want you to listen to this profound thought from the Bhagavata Purana. Ether, air, fire, water, earth, planets, all creatures, directions, trees and plants, rivers and seas are organs of the Supreme Lord's body. Just let that sink in for a second. This instantly elevates our topic from simple geography to a deeply interconnected cosmic worldview. It's basically telling us that the elements themselves, the rivers we cross, the trees we sit under, the very earth we walk on, they aren't just inanimate objects. In this cultural perspective, they are living parts of a divine whole. And when you view the environment through that lens, it's really easy to see how the physical land naturally becomes a canvas for sacred meaning. So let's move into defining sacredness, which, as you'll see, is way more than just a location. The crucial point here is how we actually define this. The text defines sacredness as finding something of deep religious or spiritual significance, worthy of respect and reverence, holy or divine. Now, I want you to really focus on those words, respect and reverence. Sacredness isn't some measurable physical property of a rock or a building, right? It's a human experience. It's that deep feeling, that high emotion evoked within us when we interact with a specific space. It's literally the human heart and mind deciding that a space is set apart from the ordinary, everyday world.
But here is where things get really fascinating. Sacredness isn't just a destination. It can be a journey, the route taken, or the very land covered. I mean, this completely changes the game. We almost always think of a sacred place as a static destination, like a giant cathedral or a famous temple. But consider the idea that the act of moving across the land, the pilgrimage itself, is what's sacred. The dusty road you walk on, the route you navigate, the physical exertion of the journey, all of that evokes those same deep, holy feelings as arriving at the actual shrine. The sacredness is in the motion and the geography covered just as much as it is in the final stop.
Which brings us to exploring diverse sacred spaces in what I like to call a visual pilgrimage. Imagine raw, natural stone megaliths standing starkly out in an open field against a cloudy sky. There's no roof, no polished floors, just massive stones placed in nature, holding incredible spiritual weight for those who revere them. Now contrast that image with the magnificent, highly structured, and incredibly grand architecture of the Jama Masjid. Sweeping domes, towering minarets, flawless geometry. Visually, these two places couldn't be more opposite. Yet functionally, they do the exact same thing. They act as lightning rods for human reverence. It just proves that sacredness doesn't have one single architectural style. It spans across raw nature and complex engineering alike. But sacredness can also be incredibly intimate and localized. We just talked about grand stones and massive mosques, but think about the base of an old tree. You might see vibrant offerings of fresh fruit, bananas, mangoes, colorful powders, and thread carefully wrapped around massive roots. This isn't a grand building funded by an empire. This is everyday neighborhood devotion. It's a really powerful reminder that the divine is so often found in the most accessible, familiar parts of our local geography. Just a simple tree becoming a profound spiritual anchor for a whole community. And physical geography directly dictates the shape of these sacred spaces. Picture a stark, bright white stupa with a golden spire sitting against stunning, barren, high-altitude desert mountains. Its shape is perfectly suited for that rugged landscape. Then compare that to a tiered, steeply pitched wooden temple deeply nestled in a lush, green cedar forest. Why the steep roof? Well, to shed the heavy mountain snow and rain. Both of these are incredibly sacred sites, but their architectural forms, stemming from different faiths, have organically adapted to survive and harmonize with their unique geographical environments. The land literally shapes the shrine. Then we have the beautifully sculpted entrance of a Parsi fire temple. The intricate stonework and the guardian figures at the gate add another vital layer to our virtual pilgrimage. The Indian subcontinent is this unbelievable tapestry of countless traditions, and elements like this emphasize that the exact same wider geographical region holds profound, distinct meaning for numerous different faiths. The land is layered with sacredness, belonging simultaneously to so many different religious and cultural narratives. Now, picture glowing diyas, those small oil lamps, floating peacefully on the waters of a sacred river at dusk. Think back to that very first quote we read from the Bhagavata Purana. It mentioned fire, water, and rivers as organs of the divine body. And here, we see exactly that, the delicate, reverent interaction between the raw elements of nature and human devotion. The river itself is the sacred space, and the light is the human recognition of that holiness. It's this beautiful, fleeting, physical manifestation of our core definition of sacredness. I want to pause our journey for a second and bring this directly to you. Do any of these concepts or structures look familiar? Can you name similar places in your own neighborhood? Seriously, think about your daily commute or your walk to school. Is there a small shrine under a banyan tree at the corner? A historic church, a peaceful mosque, a local temple? Or maybe just a quiet, natural space that people treat with a special kind of quiet respect? The concepts we're exploring aren't just happening in faraway lands, they are literally happening right outside your front door. I really hope looking at your neighborhood with this new perspective has sparked your curiosity. We've done some great personal reflection and visual exploration, but now it's time to transition into the formal academic inquiry that awaits in the text. You have the foundational concepts, and now we need to look at exactly what the chapter will challenge you to solve. So, what is the journey ahead? Let's unravel the chapter's core mysteries. These are the 4 big questions acting as our roadmap today. 1. What is sacredness? 2. How does the land actually become sacred over time? 3. How do these sacred sites connect with life and culture? And 4. What is the role of sacred geography in cultural integration? We've already started chipping away at that first one, but as you continue reading, you'll need to figure out the actual mechanics of how land gains that meaning, how it connects directly to daily life, and ultimately, how sacred geography played a role in integrating diverse cultures across the subcontinent. These outline exactly the scope of the incredible material you'll be diving into next. I'll leave you with this final thought. If a simple dirt root, a journey, or a local tree can hold just as much sacred power and deep significance as a grand, magnificent temple, how might that change the way you walk through your world today? Keep that question in the back of your mind as you go about your day and as you continue to explore the core mysteries of how the land becomes sacred. Thanks for joining me on this explainer and enjoy the rest of your journey.